Hey, it's Aaron from the Property Scoop here, and today I've got Justin Goebel from LJ Hooker in Launceston, Tasmania with us. So we're going to talk to him about the property market over there. So hi Justin, welcome. And how's things been going for you so far?
When you ask that question, is it either really good or really bad? And either way, it's always the same. So you've either got plenty of properties on the market and lack of buyers, or plenty of buyers and lack of properties, and same with property management as well. So if you ask me directly, the market's great. Yep.
All right, so before we dive into your predictions for the 2023 market, which is what I want to mainly talk about, would you give me an overview of your local market for 2022?
We're a small office here at Launceston for LJ Hooker, but in saying that, in general, things have picked up quite dramatic as far as prices, which is countrywide. It has stagnated a little bit over the last 6 months, but it has risen close to 18 to 20% in the last 12 months, where the average price has gone up to 713,000. Which is a dramatic jump as opposed to a year or two ago. Rental incomes have also changed quite dramatically, with a 9% jump, or just over 9%. But what that's created is a lack of investors from our good buddies, we call it the mainland here in Tasmania, from Victoria, New South Wales, Western Australia, where you're from. So the rental yields have dropped 7.41%, where once here in Tassie, you could get suburbs where you're getting 7 to 8% gross returns. That's non-existent now. So investors have dried up a little bit, more homeowners, more local movement. And I imagine that's changed a lot quite throughout the country, which you'd know, I would assume.
Sure. So this is going to potentially be an obvious question, but I want your thoughts anyway. If you look back over 2022 in your local market, what were the big events that shaped the market, and how did they impact you as a local real estate agent?
Investors coming from New South Wales and Victoria, they're our biggest counterpart as far as property turnover went. There's still a lot of local movement. What actually happened throughout that process is that locals were paying a lot more money for property. So still more local buying happening, although there was action from there, and that drove the price right up. There's so much urgency in locals, which almost didn't need to be warranted. So prices went up, a crapload of offers coming through, to the point where you got 15 people lining up after an open home, directly after each other put an offer in, to the point where a real estate agent almost didn't need to negotiate, because the negotiation was taking place before you actually spoke to them at your open home, with the urgency and the amount of people coming through, and in your office when other people are waiting. But what that's done is it's changed things as we've got a prospect for more properties to put to the market. It was very competitive. They were selling just like that. The average time on market is 7 to 14 days, whereas now that has changed quite a bit. That has lengthened. Urgency has disappeared.
What kind of time frame are we talking about if it's lengthened?
Yeah, so at the moment, we're looking 30, 45 days for an average time on market. You're still getting your odd cash buyers come through, and there is some quick sales, but that has changed with probably 50% of your stock.
Okay, no worries. And has a lot of the change been driven by the increase in interest rates in particular, and the effect that that's having on the economy? I mean, what are you seeing from that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I'm not an economist. Economists get it wrong all the time. I'm a real estate guy. But if I was to put my thoughts into it, which generally I don't, but let's do that for a second. Interest rates, they will have impact. The younger generation don't seem to be too concerned about interest rates. They just want everything now, regardless of what that is. Cars, houses, whatever it may be. There is less properties on the market. This time of the year is obviously a bit funny. Everyone's headspace is elsewhere. But if you compare now to last year, the year before, and the year before that, the only difference, so there's less properties on the market, still not a lot of buyer activity, which has dropped more than what it has done in the last few years. Really, COVID is probably the only thing that's changed, or in the last 10, I think, that's changed the trend that's there now. Now, let's look at what's happening. So myself, I talk to a lot of other agencies in my region as well. There's a lot of appraisals happening right now. Now, those appraisals that are happening, they're looking to sell in January. So it's really good that you're getting this information together for that reason. January, in my marketplace, there is going to be a lot of properties coming to the market. Prices have stagnated. If you'd ask me what's going to happen, my indication would be prices will come down unless that buyer urgency picks up from our good mates. Rental yields aren't there for the investors, so I think prices may decline a little bit in this market.
Okay. So I suppose that kind of leads into the main question. By the time most people watch this video, it's going to be 2023. So can you share your opinion on what you think is going to happen to the market in your area?
I feel there'll be a lot of properties coming to the market on the assumption buyer activity doesn't change. Prices will drop a little. Interest rates will go up, which will affect that even more. Length of time on market will go back to, let's say, what it was like 4 or 5 years ago, where we're talking 60 to 90 days. So there's a lot of real estate agents that have come on board in the last couple of years, which their way of doing business will need to change, otherwise they'll fall off the perch as well. That's what I feel.
Okay, can you talk to me more about that?
At the moment, selling a property is relatively easy. An agent which hasn't learned how to negotiate doesn't need to negotiate, because they're coming in hero of the day by getting an extra $50,000 for a property sale simply because a buyer's come and said, I'll pay what I need to. The prospecting for the buyers, we really need to nurture buyers in this market, whereas in the past market, in the last 2 years, that didn't need to happen. You never need to talk to your vendors, but now you actually have to talk to the buggers. You've got to talk to the vendors. You've got to ring them up and let them know there has been no inquiry. Here's what I'm doing to fix that. We've had an inquiry. We've got to give the feedback. We've got to get those price reductions now. Well, that's been non-existent for a while. It's been, we've got you 20 grand more. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
I think things will change a little bit there. It'll be interesting to see over the next 12 months.
So what are your top 3 tips for home owners who think you're selling in 2023 and they're looking to get the best result possible?
Yeah, okay. First of all, you want to get as much exposure as possible. You want to select the right agent. Don't just select an agent from what you're seeing. I would prepare myself a month before. If you know and trust someone, go with them. Get them to list and market your property for sale. Don't go with some willy-nilly that whoever. Go with them. The other thing, if you don't know anyone, I'd actually do my homework. I'd actually go to the open homes, send a buyer inquiry through, see how they follow up, because they're not just working with you. That agent that you're selecting is working with buyers. You want to make sure they're following you up. So I think that is very important. Make sure they know how to deal with buyers. They are communicating. Because the biggest thing we hear is communication is crap with real estate agents. Hear that quite a lot.
They don't have a great reputation for returning phone calls quickly.
No, it's crap. So that would be the first thing. I'd really do my homework on it, because this is the person that's selling potentially your biggest investment. It's a lot of money. And a lot of agents have become very complacent with that. They let their egos take over. So I think that is number one important. Now, your agent should tell you how to present your home in the best way that you possibly can. If your agent's not telling you that, I'd probably scrap them anyway. But let's assume they aren't, and you need to do as such. Getting that street appeal right. Your first impressions are the best impression. Presenting your home gets rid of any objection, which will go to further objections of why bring that price down. Our offers that we are going to get are going to be lower than what they have been in the past, as opposed to higher. And so I feel that that presentation needs to be sorted out. Your agent negotiation needs to be sorted out as well. So make sure they can negotiate. Don't just get an order taker.
Yep. One of the things that I do is like an impromptu survey of people when they come through the Property Scoop website wanting real estate information. And a common one I get, which I thought was interesting, was, should I renovate my home before I sell? I'd love to get your take on that.
Yeah, okay. So if I was to get asked that question, I've got to think, when do you want to sell? The motivation is the most important thing. If they have to sell right at this second, they don't have time to renovate to start off with. If I said renovate your home, well, that's going to take 1, 2, 3 or 4 months. Therefore, you missed your opportunity. I think it's more of a question of, when is the best time to get the best price for my home? Because I imagine that's what most sellers want. They want the best price. When is the best time? And what do I need to do to achieve that at that time? So if the time is now, it's all quick stuff. You can't put a new kitchen within a couple of days. You can't put a new bathroom within a couple of days. So therefore, whatever those finer touches are to get that result now, the market's strong, there's indications it might go down in time to come. We need to act now. Now, if the market's already declining, we need to make a decision. Yes, you are going to get more money if you put a new bathroom in. And if you do have time, you don't have to sell now. We definitely would do those things. It's only going to cost you 10 grand to get an extra, to get 15. Let's do it, which generally is the case, putting your kitchen, a bathroom and so forth in. So I think it's a time thing more than anything. Do you have to sell? Do you not have to sell? We'll pick the right time if you don't have to sell now.
And would you recommend, as an agent, if someone asks that question, that you have a look at their home before you tell them yay or nay? Because I mean, you don't know what they're actually like. So I assume you going in and having a look would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely, because everyone's got different ideas. They might say, I want to put a new kitchen in, but there's probably more to it than just putting a new kitchen in. You know, maybe there's no garage in there, or maybe the garage they got falling down, get eaten by ants. Not that that happens here in Tassie. You know, we don't worry about pest inspections here. Did you know that?
Good stuff, eh?
Another myth, though, is that we don't have termites, but we do have termites here. They're just different to the ones you've got up there. Anyway, off track.
So would you want to go in and see the property before you told them an answer to that question?
Yeah, absolutely. So go on what they're saying, but it's always best to go and have a look at the property, give you advice on other little things which can have so much impact. You know, they might have bright pink walls in some rooms, which they failed to mention. And unfortunately, that's subjective to a very small market. So therefore, it might be suggested that they get rid of the bright pink walls, which can, you know, potentially get you a lot more money in the pocket. So yes, definitely have a look first.
So what are the big questions that you're getting asked a lot by home buyers and sellers recently, and what kind of answers have you been giving them?
Yeah, so open homes have been very light on. Buyer inquiry has also been very light on. The last couple of weeks, that has dried up quite dramatically, which is very normal for the Christmas period. The questions that the statements that we are getting is, oh, we're just having a bit of a look now. 6 months ago, wasn't that? I want to put an offer in now. I want to buy this house now. Do you think the interest rates are going to go up more is one question that we do get a lot, which the indications are that they will, but that's just an assumption. Another question would be, should I be putting my house on the market right now? I'm looking to purchase home, should I be putting my house on the market? And they're being a little bit hesitant about putting their house on the market now, which is a bit of a change too, to purchase. They want to find the house to purchase, then put it on the market, which is okay.
Okay, so final question. If you had to say one thing to potential buyers and sellers for 2023, like one piece of wise advice, what would it be?
Okay, so as relaxed as we are being as buyers right now, one thing that I would suggest is when you find the right home, jump on it, just jump on it and put your offer forward. Don't take your time with it, because generally when you take your time, everyone else is taking their time and you will potentially miss out anyway. I see a lot of this happening at the moment. People are still missing out. So tell them the market's taking longer, you're 2 months in, then all of a sudden the few inquiries you've had, bang, they all want it at the same time, and there's a couple of people that have missed out on their perfect property due to them taking their time. For sellers, if you're looking to sell your house now, present your house in the best way that you possibly can. Select the agent that you know and trust. I think negotiations are a huge thing right now in a market which I feel is starting to decline. Negotiation, you want someone that can do that for you, not an order taker. Do your homework, select that right person. Don't just jump on anyone, whether that's me, whether that's another agent out there. Get the right person.
Okay, so that raises a good point for me. So from the outside looking in, I often find that all real estate agents say the same thing, and I hear this word negotiation a lot.
Yep.
How does someone who's not worked in real estate and maybe has never been in sales, how does someone figure out what or who is a good negotiator when it comes to choosing a real estate agent?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So if I was coming to sell your home for you, you're going to probably want the cheapest commission, and you're probably not going to want to pay advertising. This happens, and you're probably not going to pay advertising. Now, if you say that to me and I say, yeah, no worries at all, I'll do the last commission. What do I need to do to get your business? I want you to do it at 1%. Just, yeah, okay. You know what? My next comment from that would be, I've just given you 1% without you even trying. What you've just shown us is you're a better negotiator than me. I've got to tell you now, do not select me for your agent, because I'm a shit negotiator. You want someone that can hold their ground and prove their worth. Now, you will pay 3%. I am the best agent for the job, and this is why I am the best agent for the job. You will get more than what you're about to pay me in tenfold when I negotiate the best price for you. So I feel that's the agent that they should be selecting instead of the agent that they think that they want.
Is there any other way of determining whether an agent is a good negotiator aside from that one? Because let's be honest, mate, there's obviously a lot of self-interest in that discussion. And I totally get where you're coming from, but I guess I look at it from the perspective of the homeowner. They may have a totally different understanding of this. So something else they can do to try and identify good negotiators.
They could talk to past sellers. In the past, what I've done on my maze, I've actually put the last few sales with a phone number. So instead of a testimonial, their name, the address which we sold, and the phone number. I said, look, just give them a call. And it's not just any of them, it's the last few sales. Give them a call and ask them about the process. And I know, because I know what I do, and I keep them in the loop throughout that negotiation process, keep that seller in the loop. And I let them know, you just come in, we're talking about this price, I'll get back to you soon, we've got more money, I'll give you a call back. And you call back, look, we've got another 10, but you know what, let's not get excited yet, they're ready to accept, they're ready to go. But just leave it with me, I want to play a little bit more, we're going to get this awesome result here, I'll talk to you soon. I think when the seller hears that you've put down on your CMA for the next seller, I think that has a lot of power within itself, and that's not you saying it, that's coming from them.
Sure. And just for those who don't know, what's a CMA?
Comparative market analysis. If I appraise your home, I'm going to come in with an in-depth market analysis on their property and what's happening in the market in their area. Comparable sales, or just indications of what's happening, and an approach to sell their home, the best way to go about it.
Okay, Justin, well, look, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. And if anyone's in Launceston wants a good agent to talk to, what's your phone number, Justin?
0458 435 062.
Yeah, beautiful. All right. Thanks, mate. You have a great day. I appreciate your time.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.